Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to CYM Live. Sorry for smiling so much. I just got finished laughing real hard. I'm here with our pastor, my pastor, Pastor Wendell Jones, and we're going to do the recap for today. Now, this month, as you all know, is Mental Health Awareness Month. And your topic today, Pastor, just really pulled back a lot and went in deep with that topic with I Want My Mind Back, Part 1. What made you choose that message today?
Well, really, it's based on what you just said. Just in conjunction with the month being Mental Health Awareness Month, and just the necessity for our community to quit treating it as being taboo and a shameful subject. Because again, mental illness is a result of a mind that suffers from trauma. And trust me, our community suffers trauma mainly on a daily basis. So we have some things that have happened to our perspectives and damages to our minds. So if the church doesn't address it, I mean, who else? I mean, and we're not the be-all, end-all for addressing it, but we need to have our voice in the conversation.
Amen, amen. One of the main areas that you started, and I know you said it's a series, so
Yeah.
we didn't even get dig in deep today, but you said something, and it was based off of that the difference between our conscious mind and what science calls our subconscious mind. Can you explain that a little bit?
Well, what I wanted people to understand is that, oftentimes people think that science disproves God, but it doesn't. Science is best to catch up to God. Science just uses different terminology than God does. So when you hear the term subconscious, which is a popular word, the Bible speaks to the subconscious too. The Bible calls it the inner man. Sometimes the Bible calls it the heart of the mind. And so God is always saying that's the place that I have to deal with. And when you go back and look at what scientists has discovered about the subconscious, is that this, and again, when we say mind discover, they didn't create it, they just finally caught up to God, because you can only discover what already existed. And so what they're discovering is that the subconscious really controls about 95% of your reaction to life. And so now it behooves us to understand why God says, I want to deal with your inner man, because if your inner man is your subconscious, your inner man is dealing with you with 95% of how you respond to life. And so that's the part of you God seeks to turn over, seeks to deliver and to heal. And so I wanted us to be able to use those words interchangeably, that when the world says subconscious, God says inner man, and he's really talking about the same thing.
I want to dig into another point that I think everyone has struggled with, is struggling with at some point. Romans 7, the text where Paul says, I know what I want to do, but I still do what I don't want to do. Go into that a little bit more, because I think a lot of people struggle on that point, and it goes back to what you said with the subconscious and the conscious part of us. Why is that?
The subconscious, the heart, the inner man, although it's controlling about 95% of my reaction to life, what's unique about its makeup is that it's very habitual, meaning that it only gives back what you put in it. It's almost like dealing with a recording device. So whatever you record on it and you push play, it just gives back what you recorded. It doesn't have a different response simply because there's something different going on outside of it. It just repeats the same thing over and over again. And so that thing is etched on my heart, etched on my soul. So I have a tendency to repeat stuff even though I don't want it. And so with my conscious self, I'm thinking about what I want to do, how I want to grow, what I want to build, what I want to happen in my life. But the thing is that I'm sabotaging it because this inner man, which is controlling 95% of me, has not been renewed, has not been dealt with. And so I keep repeating old things. I keep looking at things through old lenses. And so even when I get new opportunities, I will paint them as old things. For the example that I use today, for example, if you were conditioned in your childhood that love was painful, and now you have somebody new comes into your life and they want to spend time with you, want to grow in a relationship with you, whether it be a romantic relationship or a friendship, they want to spend time with you. But etched on your inner man, recorded on you, is the thought that relationship equals pain. And so if it's there, then you start looking at this new opportunities, these new occurrences, these new events through an old lens. And so you'll interpret it to the negative. And you'll eventually work hard enough to create the pain in a relationship that you're familiar with. And so that's why many of us never progress to new things, is because I'm still repeating enough old behavior that I change all my new stuff until I go at it until it begins to look like something that I'm familiar with. And so Paul says, I'm thinking with this 5% that I really want to do all these great things, but for some reason, something in me, he says, I practice evil. I practice disagreeing with what God has with me. It's habitual. So he says, I've got to be delivered there before I can produce the stuff that I really want to do.
Awesome point. Continue to tune in the next Fruit Sundays. We're going to dig a lot deeper. I know it's not it's too big of a subject to cover in 1 week. Make sure you join us on Wednesdays at 7 as we do a recap of the message. Any closing thoughts on this? Because it's such an important message for all of us, even with myself, and making sure that we don't repeat the same things over and over and dealing with those inner things that we haven't submitted yet. So, are there any closing points you want to give to our listeners?
This what we're dealing with is a difficult journey, but it is a necessary journey if you ever want to experience wholeness in your life. If you ever want to produce lasting change. Lasting change. I want to have the change, this change now recorded on my soul and not the old things. That's what we can do. And so eventually we're going to get to the cure for all of this, but right now in our sermons we're dealing with actual diagnosis of it all, so we can begin to look at ourselves honestly and admit that we too have these issues going on in our lives. Before we do sign off, I do want to wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
I hope you feel as much love as you deserve and then some. And also to know that you're better than just one day out of the year. But thank you all for all of your nurturing, all your giving, all your kindness. And we want you to get this message too that we're talking about, because we want you to be good with you, but also that you're such powerful, influential nurturers in our lives, which means you get to work from the inside out. And so you need to be great at deal with the inner man, because we are trusting often our inner man with you too. So thank you, mothers, for taking on that heavy responsibility from God. But I promise you, he's equipped you to be able to do it. All right, until next Sunday, much love.